You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6.
Well, good morning. Hard to awaken to news of another school tragedy, another school shooting in this country, this time in Florida.
That's right, the 18th so far in just the first 45 days of the year. So
yeah, this
hard to
time
start with those stories this morning.
Suspect is an expelled student, and some classmates said they weren't entirely surprised he's a suspect.
No, they were mentioning that some of the students were talking that as they were going in, and word of an active shooter spread throughout, many of the students were like, we know exactly who it is. Yeah. We'll have all the details later on this morning.
Yeah,
so
he appears in Broward County Court later on. Details on that next, but first, let's get to John Scalzi.
Thank you. Good morning. We have an expanding area of fog. We've been talking about this all morning, and we've checked off the fog box on your commute forecast this morning because of the potential of some thicker fog moving in closer to the coast. Now, we said that Hardy, DeSoto could be under the gun for some thicker fog, and in fact, they have now been included in the dense fog advisory this morning that has been issued all morning long, all night long, really, for areas of the spine of the state. It is a dense fog advisory that means the visibilities will be lowered to a quarter mile or less. Don't really have that problem so much along the coastline right now, but as I mentioned, inland we do, a quarter mile less, and that area has expanded now and includes the inland counties of the Suncoast. We will see this area of dense fog probably return again tomorrow morning. We'll be talking about that coming up in the next 15-20 minutes. But this area is all the way across the Gulf Coast where moisture is thick and creating some real visibility problems. We'll talk about that, talk about the warm temperatures coming up your way, all in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. Manatee County showing mostly clear. A little blip there way at the top of your screen as 301 heads south, farther south now. Getting out of Lakewood Ranch might take an extra minute or two. You'll see some issues there westbound as you approach the diverging diamond. Next map to the south shows all clear. A couple more maps to show you now in our new and improved coverage of local traffic. Little blip there at South Venice on 41 southbound. And our final map shows all clear at 6:02 on this Thursday morning.
Now to new developments overnight on the South Florida high school shooting that left 17 people dead and more than a dozen injured. This morning, the suspect, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, is in custody and is expected in court later on today. Now, this does make the 18th school shooting in the first 45 days of 2018. As Natasha Chen tells us, investigators are trying to learn more about the shooter's motive.
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School is closed until further notice. The public school that was home to some 3,000 students is now a crime scene.
The first thing that popped in my mind was, where's the shooter and where is he going next?
At least 17 are dead and more than a dozen others injured after police say shooting suspect and former 19-year-old student Nicholas Cruz opened fire as school was close to being dismissed for the day.
He knows the school layout. He knows where everyone would be at as of right now. He's been in his fire drills. He's prepared for this stuff.
Investigators believe the suspect pulled the fire alarm to draw people out of school in order to kill as many as possible. Cruz is expected in court today as investigators look into the teen's troubled past and variety of gun and violence-related posts on social media.
Valentine's Day, everyone was happy, spreading love, and it just crashed down so quick. No one deserves this.
The entire community in Parkland, Florida will need more of that love and support for the foreseeable future.
It shouldn't happen anywhere in this country. And we've got to find a way for this to stop.
Well, Governor Rick Scott is in Broward County this morning. Late last night, he visited Broward North Hospital, where many of the survivors of the shooting are being treated today. Scott says the attack that claimed at least 17 lives is, quote, just absolutely pure evil. And he offered his condolences to the victims' families.
They know they're getting good care, and what I told them is just, make sure they knew how to reach out to me. Whatever I could do to be helpful to them, I would.
Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi says the state will cover funeral expenses for the victims and counseling for the survivors.
Of course, school security is on everyone's mind this morning. The deadly shooting yesterday could happen anywhere at any school. We talked to Sarasota County's school superintendent. Dr. Todd Bowden says this tragedy is every district's worst nightmare.
Your immediate thoughts go to the students, faculty, staff, the community surrounding Stoneman Douglas High School. Certainly, you immediately think of your own family and your own community when you hear the news that we heard.
Bowden says security is their top priority in the district. He tells us they will take an even closer look at the school shooting in Broward and learn from what didn't work for them security-wise.
Well, schools in Manatee County will have increased security today following that shooting yesterday. Superintendent Dr. Diana Green says there will be an increased law enforcement presence around all schools for the rest of the week. All middle and high schools have school resource officers. Now, those officers will also rotate at the elementary schools as well. Principals and staff are also asked to be alert for any unusual activity at the schools. Now, for the latest on this story as well, and many other updates as well as breaking news, just head online to our app. You can download it. Just look for WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, our top story this hour, if you have to brave that morning rush hour traffic, you know that some areas of town are more busier and riskier to navigate. So all this week, our special report counting down the top 5 most dangerous intersections.
And today we continue with the second most dangerous, awfully close to the third yesterday. You'll recognize it. Marla's been there before. Today she's at 14th Street West in Cortez with an update. Marla?
Yeah, it's not even peak travel time yet. And as you can see, traffic is picking up at this intersection that's considered to be the second dangerous on the Suncoast. Now, some contributing factors that's giving this intersection its title are trends like distracted driving and also speeding. Those factors also cause a higher risk for severe accidents at this intersection. I spoke to a few businesses on the corner of Cortez Road and also 14th Street West, and an employee with a local car mechanic shop tells us that he's not surprised this intersection is considered to be the second dangerous on the Suncoast.
Fits. I mean, every day you see the amount of traffic here. There's fire trucks, ambulances, constantly. I sit here every day and count them as we go by throughout the day, and there are times where I lose count. This intersection is definitely dangerous. We've seen multiple car accidents here. It's pretty bad.
And employees of other businesses in the area tell me that oftentimes they do see cars hydroplane in this area, especially when it's raining and the roads are wet. When it all boils down to it, drivers, whether they're at this intersection or other intersections across the Suncoast, they are advised to drive with extreme caution and to make sure they have their cell phones down and they're paying close attention to the roads. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Tonight, the Sarasota County Planning Board will look at the pros and cons of allowing another medical marijuana dispensary to open here on the Suncoast. Now, the board will decide whether to recommend approval for a special exception for the company Trulieve. Now, Trulieve wants to open a dispensary on Jacaranda Boulevard. Earlier this month, the board agreed to allow the Sarasota-based company Altmed Florida to open a dispensary on Fruitville Road. Now, Trulieve currently operates a dispensary in Bradenton.
The freedom to choose election days could soon be a thing of the past in Florida. A new House bill would set election days on the same date statewide. Now, this would have a direct impact on the city of Sarasota, which holds elections in March despite very low voter turnout. Those against this bill say local government should be able to decide which days are best for their respective elections.
Well, the days may soon feel a bit longer here in Florida under a new bill passed by the State House. The bill asks Congress to allow Florida to remain in daylight saving time all year round. So when the rest of the country sets their clocks and falls back, Florida would not. Supporters of the bill say it would help tourism and give families a little more daylight time together after work.
That's being sponsored by local State Senator Greg Stubbe. But some wonder if we're an hour off from the rest of the East Coast. Imagine that. Wouldn't that cause some confusion?
That might cause a little confusion.
A little.
You weigh it out. Like, is that extra of daylight good? Or, you know, sometimes you do want to be on par in terms of broadcasts and financial exchanges as well.
Yeah, it'd be strange to be an hour off from New York and Washington and Atlanta.
That's what I meant by the pros and the cons.
That's right. Still had first alert traffic, and also the Senate on Capitol Hill is inching closer to an immigration solution.
That's right. It's not yet set in stone, but at least it's part of the conversation. When we come back, we'll have all the details for you.
6:09 right now, a little fog out there over the downtown Sarasota area. We'll have more news and John Scalzi's first alert forecast next on Good Morning Suncoast.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the nation first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Come experience the rugged capability and luxurious comfort of a new Ram truck and get big savings during Ram Truck Month at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Shop the area's largest selection of new Ram trucks. Get the all-new redesigned 2018 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $25,999. Or save big and get $13,300 off a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, so all this morning we've been talking about fog on the spine of the state that's kind of been moving toward inland areas of Hardee and DeSoto, but we haven't talked much about coastal fog, and that's because, there's not much. The Cortez Bridge webcam put into motion shows you can see those lights all the way down the span of the bridge. So we're not looking at a lot of fog close to the coastline. The dense fog advisory that has been issued for Hardee and DeSoto County is really, I think, going to be limited to those inland locations, these areas colorized in gray here. It expands really all the way across the Gulf Coast, up through the Panhandle, back into Alabama, into areas of Louisiana. I mean, it's everywhere along the coast. Except for our area, we just don't have a lot of it. Our winds are blowing in such a way that the fog is just not an issue along the coast. Right now, 65 degrees. We have a dew point value of the same and 100% relative humidity. Yes, we could see some patchy fog near the coast, but it's not going to be that kind of really dense visibility limiting fog that would allow for dense fog advisories to be issued, don't believe. We'll watch for that. Plus, as that fog expands from inland areas, we wait now for dawn to break, and once dawn breaks pretty soon here, we'll start to see a mixing begin to take place, and that really reduces the potential for any kind of widespread fog along the coastlines. 65-degree temperature by 7 a.m. By noontime, 78 degrees, and then as we head into the 3 o'clock period, again, very warm conditions across the entire region, breaking the 80-degree mark most everywhere. In fact, in inland areas could see again today some mid-80s. What month is this? 70 degrees by the time we get to 7 p.m. and not much of a rain chance either. Look at the futurecast. Put this into motion. Now, you can see the fog that's around the area, these low-hanging clouds. That's also a feature for everyone this morning. It'll be kind of a dreary start to the day until we mix those clouds away. Then we'll watch and see how things progress tomorrow morning. As we head into that time frame, we could see, the fairly clear skies that we'll have this afternoon with a few fair weather clouds kind of give way to some fog forming along the coastline, particularly around the Big Bend region, but that could expand southward and create a problem for coastal areas tomorrow morning, particularly northern sections of the Suncoast into areas of coastal Manatee County. We'll watch and see if that plays out. Mostly the guidance is showing areas around Big Bend region and points north, but it certainly could expand southward. Again, the hot point for thunderstorm activity today is in the Ohio Valley stretching into the heartland. We don't have a whole lot of an issue here in the state of Florida with thunderstorms. We aren't hardly going to see even any rainfall around here. We could use some, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards for us today. Again, a big ridge of high pressure with its axis located to the north brings us that easterly flow today, but with time we'll watch that high pressure ridge kind of sinking southward, and that'll promote a more southeasterly wind flow, and that will increase our temperatures as we head into the weekend. We even have some computer model guidance suggesting that by next week we could see temperatures in the mid, maybe in inland areas, even some upper 80s, possibly. We'll see. West wind comes in at about 5 to 10, and the forecast for today looks good. Daytime high today tops out near the 80-degree mark. Again, tomorrow about the same thing. Watch for some patchy fog tomorrow morning near the coast, especially in Manatee County. And then over the next several days, we stay warm and then start to warm even further as we head into the beginning of next work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. It is 6:17. Let's take a look outside into your first alert traffic. Starting to see our usual congestion coming in the morning. Definitely those bridges coming from Palmetto and Ellington into Bradenton are starting to get a little bit busy. We're also starting to see some congestion right there on State Road 64, along with the usual hot spots like Fruitville Road right there at the 75 interchange, as well as University Parkway. Then in South County, you're starting to see a little bit of congestion right there on Clark Road. But the farther south you go, the better those roads look. Mostly clear for the most part. You do have a little spot right there on 41 near 776, but other than that, there's not too much to see. Just a couple little spots of congestion out there. Again, it is 6:17, and that is your first alert traffic.
Now, today in Washington, the chance of the Senate crafting a single immigration bill seemed to be lessening on Capitol Hill. The latest from reporter John Lawrence.
A bipartisan group of senators agreed on an immigration deal Wednesday. CNN obtained a draft of the deal. It offers a pathway to citizenship for nearly 2 million undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children. The plan also earmarks $25 billion for border security and trims the number of green cards handed out per year.
The system is our best chance to produce legislation that can pass the House, pass the Senate, and earn the president's signature.
Now the question is, will it get the 60 votes required to advance within the Senate?
It's really going to be an extraordinary moment. I hope we are able to reach an agreement on this, because I think this needs to get done.
Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware says even though there are some hard concessions in the proposal, he will vote yes.
We don't have to agree on everything. We just have to agree on some things. And we can and find a way forward together.
President Trump says he wants a 4-pillar solution, which involves border security, protection for those who receive DACA benefits, an end to the diversity lottery, and a major overhaul of the immigration system.
We all know that immigration is fraught with peril, but this is the closest we've come, and everybody has to make a really final effort.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Meantime, later on this morning, 11 DACA recipients and 15 supporters will start to march from New York City to Washington on foot. It's called the Walk to Stay Home. It'll take 15 days to walk to Capitol Hill.
New this morning, former Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney is expected to announce his run for Senate in Utah today. Sources say Romney will make the announcement through a message to his supporters on social media. He will then make his first appearance tomorrow by speaking to grassroots Republicans near Salt Lake City. Romney was a critic of President Trump during the 2016 GOP primary, but the two have since mended those fences.
How often a politician has been a governor in one state and a Senate candidate in a different state entirely.
Right.
Massachusetts and Utah. He's got roots in both, apparently.
Yes, he does.
Still ahead, additional background on the Florida school shooting suspect.
Disturbing new details. We've got the latest for you coming up right after this.
All this week, Marla Spence investigates the top 5 worst intersections on the Suncoast. Find out what's being done to fix these danger zones and what you can do to stay safe. All this week on ABC 7 News at 6 a.m.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been arrested in the state of Florida, the state attorney's office is already working on your prosecution. It's time to work on your defense. So give us a call. We've got your back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC 7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC 7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
I'm Alan Cohn. It has happened again, and this time at a Florida high school. Another school shooting, scores injured. What you need to know.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Another warm day on the way. Lots of 80s on John's forecast coming up. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, he's got a nice forecast coming up. Could be in the upper 80s next week as well. I smell those beach days coming back.
Oh, yeah, I saw that sometime. It was cold for so long here.
It was. I appreciate that warm weather any day.
6:23 on this Thursday morning.
And now in the spotlight, we bring you a party with a purpose.
Yeah, the annual Cortez Village Fish Festival will raise money for adjacent land preservation. Our Linda Carson has a preview.
Once a year, Cortez Village throws open its doors and invites the public in to get to know their village.
This is really an important treasure in the state of Florida, and we're one of the only working fishing villages left.
The festival is sponsored by the Florida Institute of Saltwater Heritage, or FISH for short.
It supports FISH, which was put together in 1992. We purchased preserved property over here in 1999, and the festival has gone to support and pay for that property.
So far, they've purchased 96 acres. They say it's the only undeveloped property on Sarasota Bay. The festival is a huge celebration.
The festival is full of food, great entertainment from country to jazz to blues. We try to have entertainment that everybody will enjoy. We have 60 artists, and it's nothing manufactured. It's all handmade artwork. They're selected to be part of our festival.
There'll be a great kids area, and the museum will be open.
Everybody can go and visit and learn about the maritime fishing industry around here, as well as our cultural center, which will teach you about the families that in the late 1800s came and actually settled this village in 1883.
There'll be demonstrations showing you what life is like in the fishing village.
This is really a piece of old Florida, and you don't find it. It's like a hidden treasure. And the people are mighty. This little village is mighty. It's mighty and strong, and it has endured a lot, and it's just trying to preserve what's important to them.
The festival will give you a great day beside the bay, and the fund raised at the festival will help preserve the ecosystem around Cortez for many, many generations to come. So take a step back in time and come to the Cortez Fishing Festival this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, in Cortez Village. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
If you don't know Cortez Village, it is old Florida at its finest.
Is it? I was just looking at that. I'm like, that seems like a good place to put on the weekend destination
That's
list.
right. If you do happen to go, we might show your picture. There's our respective addresses. Also, we're on Instagram as well. Right now, it is 6:26 on this Thursday morning.
Well, this morning, from his past disciplinary issues at school to students knowing something was just off about him, we are learning more about the accused school shooter in South Florida.
ABC's Tom Lamas has his profile.
In this morning's GMA First Look, several students who spoke with ABC News say it was no secret the teenager you see in this photo was dangerous and even threatened to kill.
He carried multiple guns. He showed me his guns.
Police described Nicolas Cruz as armed for a war when he allegedly stormed this South Florida high school.
He had countless magazines, multiple magazines, and at this point, we believe he had one AR-15 rifle.
Former classmates who spoke with ABC News paint the 19-year-old as troubled. News of his arrest, wearing a maroon shirt, dark jeans, combat boots, and handcuffed, sparked memories of a teen they describe as twisted. The focus this morning for investigators, any hint of motive on social media. And coming up at 7 a.m., George Stephanopoulos leads our coverage live from Florida. With your GMA First Look, I'm Tom Llamas, ABC News, Parkland, Florida.
What's so natural in Splenda Naturals stevia sweetener? Everything. We start with stevia leaves and extract only the sweetest parts. So unlike other stevia sweeteners, Splenda Naturals has no bitter aftertaste. Just 100% natural sweetness for the best tasting stevia. Now that's sweet.
It's Macy's President's Day sale with final closeouts on mattresses from Sealy, Beautyrest, Serta, and more. Get queen mattress sets starting at $197, plus free delivery with a minimum purchase of $787. Shop in store or at Macy's.com.
When you live your life as an Olympic downhill skier, you can't let spill slow you down. That's why I use Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Bounty picks up spills quicker and is 2 times more absorbent. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
I was out here smoking instead of being there for my son's winning shot. That was it for me. That's why I'm quitting with Nicorette.
Only Nicorette Mini has a patented fast-dissolving formula. It starts to relieve sudden cravings fast.
Every great why needs a great how.
If you've never truly loved your car, you've clearly never owned a Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru True Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt would leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a car and driver's 10 best. All on sale for up to $38.05, less than the competition, at your local Honda dealer.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
And we heard fireworks go off at the school, so everyone started freaking out. We didn't realize it was an actual shooter on the campus until we heard the sirens, and a lot of us were on our phones saying there's a shooter on campus, and we all walked in that closet for.
School day interrupted by gunfire.
What investigators know this morning about the 19-year-old they say started shooting inside a South Florida high school right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 6:30.
Good morning to you. It is 6:30 on this Thursday morning, February 15th. Wish we were starting off with a little lighter news this morning, but another school shooting took place yesterday afternoon. We have all the latest, more on the accused suspect, more from the students that were inside the building at the time. One of the most interesting things that are coming out yesterday, if you are a parent of school, you know there's been some debate over the years about whether or not to let kids have smartphones inside the school. Right. And when you see how they were used yesterday, being able to communicate with their parents that they were okay and what was happening, even communicating with authorities at some point, suddenly it looks a little, you see that argument like, okay, maybe it's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, right. We'll have much more on that next, but first let's get the forecast from meteorologist John Scalzi. Hi, John.
Good morning. So we're looking at a little bit of fog around the area this morning, mostly in inland areas along the spine of the state. That's where visibility is most reduced. But along the coastline so far, things look pretty good. We have visibilities that are generally over 6 miles everywhere, 10 miles in most locations. So that's not a problem. But inland, the dense fog advisory has now been extended to areas of Hardee and DeSoto counties. We mentioned all morning long, actually, that would likely happen. Areas of Wauchula, Arcadia, Ona, all have the potential of seeing some dense fog foam, as it's been very thick just east of those counties. Across the region, it's a fog alert that extends all the way across the peninsula of Florida, up through the Big Bend, over into the northern Gulf Coast, and then down through Texas. That's how widespread the situation is. Nevertheless, for us today, after these low-hanging clouds kind of burn away and mix away, we'll be left with a mostly sunny sky and a beautiful afternoon. Daytime highs once again topping out around the 80-degree mark. I put a 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess today. We'll talk all about the forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. We'll check Manatee County first off and see some buildup on 301 as you head up towards State Road 70. Otherwise, relatively clear so far today. Checking the upper half of Sarasota County. A little buildup there at University as you turn right and head north on 301. Otherwise, nothing too much in the red. Farther south, all clear on that map. We'll go farther south again. A little blip there on 41 southbound around Circlewood Drive. And then South County, indeed, all clear right now at 6:34. This is a live picture now of the Broward County Jail, where that shooting suspect, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, is being held. He has his first appearance in court today in Fort Lauderdale.
And there are new developments overnight on that deadly school shooting in South Florida.
17 people were killed, 5 others critically injured in the attack on Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Overnight, police searched the home of suspected shooter Nicholas Cruz. Police say he was armed with an AR-15 rifle and a gas mask. After the shooting, he walked out with other students. He was later arrested in a nearby neighborhood and will appear in court later on this morning.
And this morning, President Trump and members of Congress are responding to that deadly school rampage in Broward County. ABC's Kenneth Moten has their reaction from Washington.
This morning, Washington lawmakers react yet again to one of the worst mass shootings in this nation's history.
We keep saying enough is enough, but then it happens again.
President Trump responding not on camera, but in a tweet. My prayers and condolences to the families of the victims of the terrible Florida shooting. No child, teacher, or anyone else should ever feel unsafe in an American school. Florida Representative Frederica Wilson also tweeted, "It is heartbreaking that these violent incidents continue to take place in schools, a place where our children should feel and be the most safe."
There's something out there that we can do, whether it's a law or a program or both. Of course, we're going to be open to that, but it's got to work.
The 18th school shooting this year, according to Everytown for Gun Safety. The rampage in Parkland, Florida ranks among the top 5 deadliest.
It's a bad day. Once we get into the investigation, how did he acquire the weapon?
These tragedies typically spark a brief debate over gun control.
This is an epidemic, and yet Congress continues to do absolutely nothing.
Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, where so many children were shot and killed in Newtown, on the floor of the Senate.
We are responsible for a level of mass atrocity that happens in this country with zero parallel.
The White House has offered federal assistance to Florida officials. President Trump has no public events today, so no word if or when he'll address this latest mass shooting on camera. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Some lawmakers are calling for government intervention after Wednesday's school shooting. A teacher at the high school says teachers and students had just received training on what to do in an active shooting situation, but she feels the government has failed the community.
Broward County Schools has prepared us for this situation, and still, to have so many casualties, it's very, at least for me, it's very emotional, because I feel today like our government, our country has failed us and failed our kids and didn't keep us safe.
Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School will be closed today and tomorrow, and the district will supply grief counselors.
Well, schools in Manatee County will have increased security today following that shooting. Superintendent Dr. Diana Green says there will be an increased law enforcement presence around all schools for the rest of the week. All middle and high schools have school resource officers, and now those officers will also rotate through at the elementary schools. Principals and staff are also asked to be alert for any unusual activity at school.
For the latest on this story and breaking news, plus your up-to-the-minute forecast, head to the App Store. Look for us under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, if you have to head out in morning rush hour traffic, you know that there are a few spots around the area that you usually want to avoid. Our special report all this week is a countdown of the top 5 worst intersections on the Suncoast.
Today we're up to number 2. Our Marla Spence joins us from the intersection of 14th Street West and Cortez. Marla, good morning.
Thanks, Ray and Stephanie. About 80,000 cars are expected to travel through this intersection. That's considered to be the second dangerous on the Suncoast. As you can see, traffic is building up this morning. 14th Street West and Cortez Road West, like I said, is considered to be the second dangerous on the Suncoast. Some contributing factors giving this intersection its title are trends like distracted driving and also speeding. I spoke to an employee of a few businesses near the intersection, and they tell me they're not surprised 14th Street West and Cortez Road West is considered to be one of the top dangerous.
I'd like to see traffic enforced at this corner a little more. People just fly by here, they're not paying attention, and accidents happen. People need to slow down at this intersection.
that employee of a mechanic shop here in this area is absolutely right. People need to slow down and take their time when they're on the roadways. Now, tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m., we are going to be wrapping up our series on the top 5 dangerous intersections, and we're going to be concluding this special report with our #1 dangerous intersection. So make sure you stay tuned with Good Morning Suncoast starting at 5 a.m. For now, Marla Spence reporting live in Bradenton for Good Morning Suncoast. Back to you.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Marla. Well, we have new developments in the investigation into a deadly hit-and-run accident in Sarasota. Police say 36-year-old Giselle Stano was struck and killed by a car along Fruitville Road just before midnight back on January the 27th. Police have now released video of the car that officers believe was involved in that accident. It is a silver, gray, or blue car with a broken right side headlight and heavy right front end damage. Police say it is a 2004 to 2009 Mazda 3 sedan. Anyone with information about this car or the event that night is asked to contact Sarasota Police.
Longboat Key Police plan to use a recent donation to enhance public safety there. Ryan Flanzer donated $234,000 to upgrade the town's license plate recognition camera systems. The chief there also plans to buy 25 laptops with the appropriate software for his patrol cars.
Well, this morning we have new details on a fire in Sarasota County last night. Firefighters were called to a fire at a 2-story building on Olive Avenue just south of Bee Ridge Road around 10 o'clock. Firefighters were able to contain the fire. No one was hurt. A spokesperson for the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office said it appears the fire started because of an electrical problem.
All right, 6:41 on this Thursday morning. John Scalzi's forecast is on the way.
That's right, along with some traffic and a life-saving app that you are going to want to download.
It is designed specifically for Suncoast residents. We'll have that story and much more next on Good Morning Suncoast. First, here's a peek outside our window. A little fog on the horizon right now. We'll break down the forecast with John Scalzi.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My California Closets designer is a rock star. She was able to design the most beautiful space for me. When I turn the lights on, it's breathtaking. La! It's just a little slice of organized heaven. The California Closet team was so professional, so reliable. It was seriously a dream come true. My name is Jill, and this is my California Closet story.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Please join us in welcoming the 2 newest additions to the Lincoln lineup, our flagship luxury sedan, the 2018 Lincoln Continental, and the totally redesigned 2018 Lincoln Navigator, featuring 450 horsepower, 10-speed transmission, and many best-in-class features. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment, every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Head over to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota, where you'll always get better prices and a bigger selection, like the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wrangler JLs in stock now. Or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee, for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $18,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC7 is seeking a multimedia journalist who can tell a story on all platforms and meet tight deadlines. Reporting experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/joboftheday to apply.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Been keeping an eye on this webcam all morning long. This is the Lakewood Ranch webcam, and put it into motion. You can see the low-hanging clouds hanging around, but still, fog not a big issue here. Now, Hardy and DeSoto both have dense fog advisories up this morning as that area of really dense fog that's been along the spine of the state, like in Highlands County, expands toward the east just a little bit. Again, there's a possibility if you live in Wauchula, Arcadia, Ona, that you could have some dense fog on some of your roadways this morning, though it's not even been noted by Becky in Old Nyack, who phoned in and said that it's really humid and stick outside. It almost feels like it's a misty rain in her neighborhood, but so far no mention of fog there. Along the coastline, don't really have an issue. The visibilities have generally been above 5 miles, which is just fine. Otherwise, we'll watch those low clouds that have been around this morning kind of burning off pretty quickly, and we'll be left with rising temperatures also spiking out as we head into the morning hours and we start to see the sun return. 65 degrees by about 7 a.m. this morning, really not changing that temperature all that much over the course of the morning hours because of that cloud deck. But then as the sun comes up, the clouds burn away and we're left with the sunshine. Boom! Our temperature starts to skyrocket, getting us up to near the 80-degree mark by the time you go out for lunch this morning. And then as you head into the afternoon hours, most everybody breaks the 80 mark, and in inland areas could see even some things close to the mid-80s, I would think. A lot of cloud cover out there, a little bit of rainfall possible over on the other coast, but I really don't see that in our neck of the woods. And rain chance less than 10%. If we get any, it'll be in inland areas and only a few scattered showers east of the interstate. But I think even this model overdoes the amount of rainfall that we anticipated. It'll be kind of like yesterday, just didn't get a whole lot. And in fact, over the next several days, I think the rain chances will go down even further. Now, tomorrow morning, we're going to be watching carefully because there's the potential for some pretty thick fog closer to the coastline up around the Big Bend region down toward even into areas around Tampa Bay. So it is possible that we can see that extend as far south as coastal Manatee County. We'll be keeping an eye on that tomorrow morning, certainly, as that area of sea fog kind of expands across the region. For us today, big ridge of high pressure is our dominant weather feature. That tends to kind of sink southward with time as low pressure areas north stay north and really don't bother us. But what this will do will be to encourage a more southerly flow. So we'll start to see the humidity begin to increase again as we head into the next several days, I think. We'll have the potential for an isolated sprinkle coming our way, perhaps later on this afternoon, but very isolated. And slightly cooler, maybe for a day or two, especially in nighttime lows. But then we start to increase that humidity and our temperatures start to warm again. West wind at about 5 to 10 as we develop a sea breeze, keeping the coastline just a little bit cooler this afternoon. Daytime high at around 81. Same thing again tomorrow and Saturday. Sunday will start to warm, I think, a little bit toward the nighttime. And then on Monday, daytime highs will begin to warm so that the beginning of next work week will feature temperatures that'll be in the mid-80s. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take one more look at traffic out there this morning. It is definitely starting to get busy. You've got some of the bridges heading into Bradenton that are definitely showing their signs of congestion this morning, as well as southbound on 301 if you're heading out of Bradenton, and definitely some congestion on State Road 64. Heading into North Sarasota, you've got your usual backups at University Parkway, right there on Fruitville Road as you're coming off and getting on 75, as well as southbound 41 near Bee Ridge Road as well. And then in South County, those roads are actually looking pretty smooth out there this morning. If you head a little bit farther south to one of our newer maps by request, those roads are looking pretty smooth out there too by Nokomis and Venice. And then if you're heading even farther south into that area as well, those roads are looking pretty good out there this morning. 6:48 in your first alert traffic. All right, a second county here on the Suncoast is asking you to download a life-saving app.
Yeah, it's an app that alerts those trained in CPR that there's an emergency in a public place nearby. Dispatchers send alerts through the app at the same time they alert first responders. The app also lets users know where the closest defibrillator is located. Sarasota County officials will unveil the app later on this morning. Manatee County began using this app late last year.
Well, new this morning, a security upgrade at the Venice Fishing Pier. The City Council has recently received complaints about vandalism and other problems at the pier, usually during those late night hours. Now, the council has decided to keep the pier open 24 hours a day, but they plan to install surveillance cameras on the pier. Now, those cameras will cost around $110,000.
Beautiful scene out there, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. We were just out there this past weekend. It's beautiful.
Up next, your day's top news headlines. That includes a big national story taking place about 3 hours from the Suncoast.
That is right. We have continuing coverage this morning on that deadly Parkland High School shooting. We're going to have that for you right after this.
It is 6:49 right now. We're counting down the most dangerous intersections in the Suncoast. Today was number 2 at 14th Street West and Cortez Road. There's some traffic right now. That'll build up throughout the morning. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment, and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Raycom Sports and Blizzard Entertainment are debuting a new 5-part series. It's called Heroes of the Dorm, and students from the Atlantic Coast region are competing in Blizzard's Heroes of the Storm for over $500,000 in scholarships and prizes. The tournament features teams from colleges across the United States and Canada battling in Heroes of the Storm, featuring characters and lore from almost 30 years of Blizzard Entertainment. We also go behind the scenes with some of these gamers to see what they're doing when they're not playing video games.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Download the all-new ABC 7 First Alert weather app now.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Have a nice day on tap on the Suncoast. Some fog, though, yet to burn off here in the Rosemary District. We'll have John Scalzi's updated forecast in just a few seconds here on Good Morning Suncoast.
But first, here are some of the top stories that we've been following for you on the Suncoast this morning.
A 19-year-old suspect will appear in court today in Broward County accused of killing 17 people during a school shooting yesterday at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. Schools in Manatee County will have increased security today following the deadly shooting in Broward County. The superintendent there says there will be an increased police presence today and tomorrow in all schools.
Plus, it's an app that could literally save your life. The Sarasota County Fire Department is collaborating with 6 fire departments on the new Pulse Point app. It's going to be unveiled later on this morning. And John?
Let's check traffic right now on the Suncoast. We'll see a few spotty issues here and there. Nothing major, just some fog out there to be aware of. Otherwise, all clear right now, John Scalzi.
Yeah, dense fog advisory in inland counties of Hardee and DeSoto. So far along the coast, we're looking okay, but we do have the low clouds around. We'll go with a daytime temperature today topping out around the 80-degree mark. And yesterday, we gave 4 beach balls to your sunset walk forecast along the beaches, and I think that'll probably be true again this evening. Light winds off the Gulf waters. Should be a beautiful day. By the way, David McDonald, thank you so very much for the photo today.
All right. Well, finally this morning, be sure to stay with us here at ABC 7 and online at mysuncoast.com. We're going to have the latest developments for you on that deadly shooting that happened yesterday, as well as suspect's court appearance that is expected to happen later on this afternoon. We are learning more things that have happened yesterday. We're hearing from students that were inside the building at the time, some with cell phones, some were describing what was going on with the activity, parents that were outside that were waiting to find out if their kids inside were okay.
Yeah, we're hearing that the 19-year-old suspect was not only expelled, that some students weren't entirely surprised he is suspected in this. They also say he pulled a fire alarm before it happened in order to bring more students out to an open area. So indeed, he had this allegedly premeditated. We'll find out much more in the hours ahead. He'll be appearing in court today. It, of course, will be a lead story on Good Morning America. And we'll continue to have local coverage on the impact. Also, Manatee County having an increased police presence both today and tomorrow in middle schools and high schools in that county. So keep you posted right here on ABC 7, also on mysuncoast.com and our Facebook page, ABC 7. All right?
All right, stick around. Good Morning America is coming up next.